modern-day culture.
The luxury item announces itself as being the end of the process of buying. That somehow when you get up near the luxury level, you're coming close to the end of choice. It's almost as if you're throwing your hands up and saying, okay, this is it, this is the end, I'm buying the best. In some ways, I can stop listening to different stories, I've arrived. What you're wearing would be, or could you tell me?
Sure, it's Emporio Armani.
Okay. I'm London Foggy. What about your dark glasses?
Ralph
Oh,
Lauren.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are, you're the sort of modern woman shopping and
having a good time.
And having a good time.
Right.
Yeah, it's not difficult, is it?
No, not at all.
I know, it's hard for guys. It's easy for girls.
Very easy.
To some degree, I think somebody said you can't buy confidence. Well, I think sometimes you can. I mean, you walk into a meeting wearing a suit, and you know that you look good, and you know,
feel good,
and maybe nobody else even knows that,
yeah.
but you know that.
You know, you make an impression, and right or wrong, but the right impression makes me feel good.
Of course it does.
And
sure.
That's very important to me, and I believe that, you know, a lot of times people relate to you differently, and they talk to you differently.
Sure.
And they listen to you differently.
Buying confidence is one thing, but having the confidence to buy is another.
How are you?
I'm Jim.
I'm Nicole.
Hi, Nicole. I've got a problem. I hope you can help me with it.
Okay.
I'd like to get my wife a bag.
Let me see what we are famous for.
Okay.
And this is a classic style, the Alma style, which was originally designed for Coco Chanel to hold some of her things, and it is a classic to this day. Like this bag here is our classic drawstring Noe bag that originally was designed to carry champagne glasses. So when people went out on picnics, they would put 4 champagne glasses in and 1 up, so it was kind of a drawstring little tote for people when they were going on picnics and things. Yeah. That bag is $140, so it's our low price point, entry price point to Louis Vuitton. Okay. And that's probably, for a lot of people who want their first Louis Vuitton bag, this is a good
This is a starter bag. Well, this looks like the one for me. Can I pay for it using the installment plan? Now, would you ever buy something for Shannon?
Well, I just got her started. She bought her first piece.
Oh, this is like her starter.
It's a little starter kit.
Now,
a little starter princess kit.
Now, this is a little embarrassing because I'm a school teacher, but I mean, this is not a $25.
$3.25.
You mentioning it in front of Shannon? She understands?
She understands.
So do you think this is the beginning of a whole transformation of your life? That Alan has started you off with a habit?
I hope not.
Some people, they will strive, and this is their piece, and it makes them, they feel they've arrived. But it's status.
For some people, shopping is a pleasure. It's a way of life. Those people tend to be women. Nikki Novak is on a mission to find some new outfits.
I personally love fashion. I love shopping. I mean, I don't know a woman that doesn't love shopping. My boyfriend and I actually have this argument all the time because he's always saying, you know, can't you just find something new to do? And I'm like, I read books, I do everything, but trust me, I'm not the only one. He thinks it's just me. He doesn't realize that for women, it is a religion. You know, it's funny because people sort of make fun of the fact that women go shopping. But really, I mean, fashion is a way that women express themselves. And especially when you follow one designer and you love that particular designer's clothing and they come out with something new.
Nikki is prepared to spend a lot of time and effort to get it right. As soon as the Chloe collection is off the catwalk and in the store, she's there.
Things go so fast. Basically, I have a really good relationship with the people here in the store. And they just call me when they get everything in, and I come in that day. I mean, they'll call me and I'll be in here in 20 minutes because I know everything goes so fast that I really have to be in here quick. So it's now winter, but I am shopping for spring. I'm being very prepared and very professional. Ah! How adorable is that? It's adorable. And men find it sexy and cute, too. I think they appreciate a woman that, you know, can play with fashion a little bit.
34.
Right.
I
So
think
you're
it
now
fits
telling
here.
everybody that I need a bigger size? Is that
No,
what
you
you're
need-
doing?
This is just, no,
Because
this size.
it's tough work, I'm telling you. It's rough. Someone's got to do it. It's rough. Now this is the nerve-wracking part, whether or not the credit card goes through. I've made the mistake before of buying things that I just wear once and then I never wear again. So these things I know I'm gonna love and I'm gonna wear them all summer. This has been really successful. This has been really exciting. Because, I mean, I love everything, but this pink outfit is just my favorite. I know it's gonna be my favorite outfit of the summer. So it's, yeah, this was a fun day. Turning over the credit card.
If women shoppers like Nikki are gatherers, then according to evolutionary theory, that would make the male shoppers the hunters. Psychologist David Lewis has been studying the shopping behaviour of men in their 30s.
Women tend to be, as a generalisation, much more cautious shoppers, and they will go around perhaps 5 shops before returning to the shop they first started at and buying the first thing they saw. Now, what they're doing, they're comparing quality and they're comparing price. It's a very sensible way to shop. Men tend to shop, again, as a generalisation, much more like a SWAT team going in to snatch a kidnapped victim, and they'll go in there and they'll get the victim and they'll get out again as quickly as possible. And that's the way men will very often shop.
Taking part in David's experiment is 30-year-old Michael Strang.
What I want when I go shopping is to be able to walk into a shop, see something that I like, try it on, it fits, buy it, go home.
And if David is right, Michael, like most men, will shop in a very no-nonsense manner.
What we're going to do first of all is...
Michael was wired up to monitors recording blood pressure, heart rate, and the hormone cortisol in Michael's saliva. Cortisol is the most accurate way of measuring stress. Producing too much of the hormone can be harmful. He was then asked by David to complete a shopping task along with his young son under a very tight time constraint in one of the busiest shopping streets in London. Michael was also fitted with a camera inside his glasses to record the shopping trip from his point of view.
Okay, great.
Michael's mission is to buy a white T-shirt and a toy truck for his son.
Gee, on a plain white T-shirt. I just got a white one over here.
15 minutes into the experiment, Michael's blood pressure is well over 160, and the stress hormone cortisol in Michael's bloodstream is also very high. Too much cortisol can be harmful to the body, causing reduced immunity, allergies, and a low sex drive.
A normal, healthy young adult like Michael has probably got a resting blood pressure of about 120/80. Under the stresses of today's shopping, his systolic pressure, which is a very good reflection of how much stress he was under, actually went up very high, and at some points it was well over 150, 160, and that's quite a high blood pressure.
Right, so 15 minutes to do the next shopping trip.
Okay, great. Fine.
When you're under stress of this kind, what happens is a very primitive mechanism known as the fight or flight response kicks in. So in a sense, the brain is seeing the shopping expedition as facing a saber-toothed tiger.
Ours. Yeah, we'll get you one. We're just looking for a good one.
When we're stressed, it does significantly affect our decision-making potential. In very extreme cases, it can make us behave in an entirely irrational way. You just want to get out of the situation as fast as possible. And therefore, you will grab the first thing that comes to hand. You won't ask the right questions of the shop assistant. You won't find out if it's exactly going to meet your requirements.
Right, Michael. How many things have you bought?
Just the T-shirt and the tractor.
What did David conclude and prove from the Michael experiment and the rest of his stress shopping research?
In some of the examples which I've had from my research, we've had, for example, blood pressure and heart rates, the equivalent of a combat pilot flying into action or a riot policeman facing an angry mob.
So it turns out, for Michael, that shopping isn't just a chore, it's a health hazard. His cortisol and blood pressure levels remained high for the rest of the day. For those who love to shop, shopping's great. It's a way of being with other people, having fun and expressing ourselves. But there is a downside. For some people, shopping grows from a pleasure to an obsession.
Compulsive shopping would fit in there with other impulse control disorders like compulsive eating or compulsive drinking, compulsive gambling, sort of the same general criteria where a person will feel preoccupied much of the time with thoughts of buying, find themselves spending more than they bargained, more than they budgeted for, or buying clearly in excess of what they need.
Dr. Heidi Hartston runs a therapy group for shopaholics.
There are lots of things like it, but shopping is definitely one thing where you can see something that you want and put your credit card on the table and get it. And a lot of people derive a powerful feeling or sense of control there when they don't have a sense of control in other aspects of their lives.
Heidi runs a therapy group. We have protected her clients' identities.
I don't have any place to put the anger or the sadness or whatever, and so I go shopping, and that fills that hole that's in my soul. When I buy something, I actually physical changes, like, my heart races and I start to sweat, and I just think I'm going to die until I hold it and possess it.
Most sufferers are women, but as Dr. Heidi Hartston's therapy group shows, men too can be shopaholics.
I tend to use shopping as an excuse to distract myself from doing other things. I'm a lawyer, and when I leave the office because I feel claustrophobic, I'm feeling lonely. I want to share something with somebody. The thing that I'll buy, I'm going to share with somebody in the future. I'll listen to the music with somebody. I'll watch the video with somebody. We'll discuss a book. And I guess I'm lonely.
Compulsive shopping is about the buzz of buying and the buzz of owning. There's a lot of power in buying. You walk in with a credit card to any store and you can have anything you want. You can walk out of there with anything, and that's a very powerful feeling.
This is Ada, who lives in Cupertino, California. Ada has bought so much that she has had to build a garage to house her shopping.
This is my delight room and my problem room. I'm a compulsive shopper. I knew I had a big problem when I couldn't stop buying things that I was interested in. I now have enough fabric from every place in the world, it seems like, that I could probably sew or make things for the next millennia, if I could live that long, and still would have fabric left over. Buttons. When fabric stores were going out of business, they were very, very heavily discounted for like a dime or so a card. And I basically bought whatever they had that I thought would be pretty.
All these things Ada bought, she believed would make her happy. On the other side of the Atlantic, Vivian O'Callaghan is also a compulsive shopper. But her story gives a glimpse of the darker side.
I'm in the shops most of the time, and there's always something I can buy, whether it be something for the house or something for the baby, something for me. There's no discerning with my shopping. I could go into anywhere and buy absolutely anything. You see the shops either side, and you get to see the people going in empty-handed and coming out with their bags of shopping, and everyone's like happy because they're shopping, and I like that vibe. I fit in. I want this, I want that. And these things will make me feel better. They'll make me look better, they'll make me sound better. I will be better. I know that these things don't, but it doesn't stop the want. I'm disappointed about the things I've bought, not because they're not nice things, they're nice things. But as you can see from, a nice thing, why do I have a brand new sofa and the walls haven't been finished decorated, and things like that. You can't hide peeled wallpaper with a nice sofa. I'm too scared to sit down and work out what comes in and what I spend out. I haven't really that's too much. That would mean too much looking into my my illness.
The addictive nature of Vivian's illness is similar to having a drug abuse, alcohol, or eating problem. These are all obsessive disorders. So how do you become a shopaholic? Some people may have more of a biological tendency towards obsessive behaviour, but all sorts of personal or relationship problems can trigger it off.
People are losing, their spouses, their families, their homes, declaring bankruptcy, and it's causing wreckage in people's lives.
Vivian had alcohol and gambling problems before she became a shopaholic. Her shopping addiction led to the breakup of her marriage.
When we got together, we had 2 wages coming in, which was good. And sometimes we'd go out and she'd spend all my wages in sort of one afternoon. It wasn't until we were married and had Sam, had our son, she wasn't working, so there was only one income coming in. And then it became more obvious that when she wanted to spend some money and I said no or tried to talk her out of it, she ended up spending it anyway.
Vivian's spending got so out of control that her husband left her.
It was the hopelessness about the spending. It sort of got to me, and I've run out of space in my head for it, space in my head for the problem, space in my head for the answer, and I just, in the end, I decided to leave.
Vivian's addiction has run up a debt equivalent to $35,000. But Vivian hasn't kicked her habit. She's still shopping.
I want to buy a top.
You want to buy a top?
Yeah. I've seen one I want. I'm going in. Ooh, buzz. Okay, it started. This is where it starts. You see, it starts with one little thing for £1 each, and then it gets bigger. But I saw it, I wanted it. It's a high. It's a high. It's like we could have gone to the pub and had a few drinks, and I'd have that sort of same rosy glow, except felt worse in the morning for like the drink. Now I'll feel worse in the morning. It'll be a dry hangover from the shopping, but I'll justify it when I wear it and I feel great in it. And if anybody happens to comment and say I look nice as well, that will just add to, oh, well, it was okay. And everything else has been pushed aside now. Bankruptcy, any thought of paying bankruptcy, any thought of controlling my spending, completely out the window. If I don't think too much about it, this is a nice high.
Vivian can't stop shopping. But for Ada, help is at hand. Trials have begun on a new drug, which may help people with her problem. When someone has an obsessive-compulsive disorder, one of the causes can be due to a lack of the chemical in the brain called serotonin. Not having enough serotonin has been linked with depression, and medication in the form of an antidepressant can be prescribed to improve the uptake of serotonin to the brain. The drug is a member of the Prozac family. For Ada, it was a relief to discover her obsession was treatable.
Now that I've had the medication, I don't have a problem walking through the mall. I can see stuff in the mall, I can appreciate it, I can see stuff that I know other people will like or will remind me of someone, but I don't have to buy it anymore. Now I have the choice, and now I feel more normal.
Consumerism has reached such proportions that for some people it's an illness. We buy more than we could possibly ever need, and rarely do we stop to think about it. The New York Voluntary Simplicity community meet to discuss.
We are living in Never Never Land here. I mean, we are 5% of the planet's population, and we consume 1/3 of its resources. I mean, we're really being pigs about the way we live.
We also have in the culture this whole idea of being good to yourself and you deserve. I mean, it's a major part of our advertising, right? You deserve, you deserve, you deserve.
I'm a shopper I'm a consumer who shops every day.
and I go to one place for one thing, another place for another thing. And it's a daily, I spend quite a bit of time going to get food.
I think that the ritual aspect is enormous because most of us don't go to churches or mosques or synagogues or temples or whatever it is. And you need that. I don't think you can live as a human being. I mean, there is such a craving for ritual, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
That if you don't do it one way, you're going to do it another way.
Right.
They may have a point, but we all do it. Our wardrobes are full of clothes we no longer wear or never wore. Wealthy, fashion-conscious Americans alone spend $116 billion buying the spring collection, then the autumn collection, and repeating the process the following year. We buy nearly 750,000 tons of food a day, 365 days a year, much of which we throw away. We waste 200,000 tons of edible food a day. But, love it or hate it, being a consumer means being part of society. The main street and the shopping mall are where we meet other people, where we go to see and be seen. It's 21st century community. Nothing unites us more all around the globe than the international brands we wear. Nothing says more about who we are and who we want to be than what we buy. One thing is for sure, we just can't get enough of it. We love to shop. Rain or shine, we're out there, every day, shopping.